Hi everyone, and welcome to our annual Market View presentation. My name is Shayna Stegner, and I'm the Managing Director at CBRE Buffalo. Typically, we'd be presenting our research in a cool venue and highlighting a new project in the market. We sincerely hope this is the one and only time that we will be delivering our information in this format. As a true third-party brokerage firm, the needs of our clients remain our top priority. Our professionals spent much of 2020 exploring real estate solutions for our clients facing challenges caused by the global pandemic. As we've done for the past 40 years, we stay committed to advising our clients and putting them in the best position to succeed in the future. I want to take a moment to thank the landlords and developers who continuously provide us with the most accurate market data each year. It is with your support that we produce the most relied upon reports in the market. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing all of you as soon as we're able. And now to present their research on the office market is Sarah Cashmere and Julie Green.
Buffalo's resurgence continued into the first quarter of 2020. I think we can all attest to the momentum and excitement that was felt and seen with numerous landmark projects announced and underway, paired with strong office leasing activity. And then the pandemic hit, and it threw us all into a strange state of pause, causing many offices to reduce capacity, close, and/or shift to remote work. Job losses and the overall shift to remote work has certainly caused many office tenants to reimagine the workplace. The way people work will forever be impacted by this, with the overall effects yet to be known. The office market is not going away, but it will certainly be forced to evolve. The Buffalo overall office vacancy rate rose from 12% in Q4 of 2019 to 13.5% in Q4 of 2020. The U.S. overall vacancy currently sits at 14%, last reported Q3 of 2020 by CBRE. The local office market has incurred a negative net absorption of 280,950 square feet year over year, with the suburban north and east submarkets recording the largest shifts in occupancy. Leasing velocity has slowed, with an increase in dispositions and sublease inventory on the rise. The sublease space overall effects will not be known for some time, and while not accounted for in our overall vacancy data, it is apparent that multiple large subleases have entered the market, impacting availability. Area landlords and developers have experienced many tenants in distress, looking for rent relief, which may continue throughout 2021. This could be offset by the second round of PPP loans. I have to say, thank you to our local commercial developers and landlords who we have seen firsthand being supportive of tenants and really trying to help each other during these difficult times. Employers have certainly faced obstacles and incurred costs to raise physical spaces to a new bar of cleanliness and overall health and safety. Rent concessions and increases in tenant improvements are being seen over rental rate reductions. This is especially true for quality office space. It is expected that lease rates will eventually reflect the slowdown as we enter the recovery period. The open office trend that we have seen grow will be met with the agile space needs and the desire for multiple types of workspaces. Amenities will be at the forefront as employers work to attract workers back to the office. We know that working from home does not work for everyone. New desired amenities will likely be reflective of these times, with increased technology, bacteria-resistant materials, and HVAC upgrades and touchless access. And now I will turn it over to my teammate Julie Green for a construction update and future outlook.
Despite the uncertainty, over 102,000 square feet of new office construction entered the market, including Uniland's Hansa, a co-working and shared office space concept. Flexible space options such as Hansa have certainly been challenged but are evolving to meet the needs of the changing work environment. These types of spaces are taking advantage of right-sizing and are providing a strategic solution to office users. CBRE notes a positive outlook for flexible space offerings in the future. It has certainly been encouraging to see many projects forging ahead despite the uncertain times. So let's highlight a few. First, there's been continued progress in leasing occurring at Seneca One Tower by Douglas Development, along with the firm's additional purchase of the 800,000 square feet historic Statler. Also, the $75 million redevelopment announced by the Main Place Liberty Group to convert the largely vacant Main Place Mall into tech-centric Class A office space. The former AMNA's building shifted from a proposed hotel and will now offer 128,000 square feet of Class A office space. Ellicott Development's project, which is right behind me, is underway at 478 Main Street and will be home to both the Army Corps of Engineers and SSA. These projects will certainly have a huge impact in the transformation up and down Main Street, and they represent just a portion of the 1 million square feet of projects either currently under construction or slated to break ground in 2021. Looking forward, we can only hope that with an increase in the vaccine distribution, we will slowly start to return to some form of normalcy. Office recovery is anticipated to be slow as we deal with the compounding effects of closures and unemployment. Office is not dead, but it's certainly evolving. Because Buffalo is a tertiary market with less density, we have the ability to avoid the issues larger cities are experiencing around mass transit and overcrowding. Our size should work in our favor. Locally, we have strong medical and governmental sector activity with a large, skilled labor pool. Additionally, Buffalo could benefit from the hub and spoke model many companies are exploring, opening up options for talent to choose where they want to live, a plus for our region. For more information and details on the office market, we invite you to download the full report, which can be found on our website, and please feel free to call with any questions.
And now to speak to the industrial market is Lita Ebers.
Hello everyone, my name is Lita Ebers and I will be presenting you with the CBRE Industrial Market View data. I hope everyone is staying healthy and safe, and we look forward to seeing you next year live. Just want to get started by saying that the industrial has been one of the most resilient real estate sectors during the COVID-19 crisis. The Buffalo market continues its low trend with an overall availability rate of 2.5%. This is a slight drop from last year's number at 2.6%. This resulted in over 500,000 square feet being absorbed in the Buffalo market. We like to take a look at the region as a whole and see how we compare to other markets surrounding us. We again this year are below that regional average at 2.5%. Pittsburgh is at 6.5%, Rochester is at 5.7%, Cleveland is at 3.7%, and Albany remains right there with us at 2.7%. The average sales price for industrial properties is based on buildings built post 1950, 10,000 square feet and up. Last year's number was $38.38 per square foot. This year's number is $46.37. That is a huge increase, and we are not surprised by this number, for warehouses are selling for over asking and selling quick. We're also seeing lease rates increase by $2 a square foot. We're seeing numbers in the $7 to $9 range, triple net. Now we get into proposed construction and the construction that was built this past year. And unfortunately, there was only about 230,000 square feet built last year, but we are seeing a huge number for proposed construction for 2021 at 1.3 million. That is mainly going to be spec buildings from 50,000 to 150,000 square feet with 30-foot clear heights, which is what the occupiers are looking for these days. We are standing in a 300,000 square foot warehouse in Tonawanda. we were able to secure a tenant for this space. They're a third-party logistics group by the name of Gemco, and they are in here occupying, operating, and we had only one other option for them, and that was for them to stay where they were before and expand. And this happened very quickly. This building was not on the market. We are thrilled to see them here, and we are excited to be part of the process. But that is just an example of the lack of inventory and the demand that exists. Uniland Development, however, just recently announced that they will be building 150,000 square feet spec at the Bethlehem Steel site. So that is great news for Buffalo. So the last part of this presentation will include where we see the demand and what we see coming ahead. The demand lies in third-party logistics like this one here, which reverse logistics is driving their demand. E-commerce, big one. We learned that 1 billion in e-commerce sales generates 1.25 million square feet of warehouse demand. Huge. Self-storage, strong buyer for old manufacturing buildings. They're continuously out there looking. We're seeing that there's record high lease rates, record high sales prices. Those will continue to creep up a little bit. We want to believe that they're tapped out, but we think they're probably could go up a little bit more. We're going to see retail to industrial conversions escalate in 2021. And customer reach and logistics networks will dictate where e-commerce occupiers locate. So robust development will continue for 2021 and 2022, which will create a competitive environment for the Buffalo market. And we are excited to see this come to fruition and hope to be a part of the process. We want to thank you for taking the time to tune in, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
And now Mike Clark will speak to the retail sector.
Hi, thanks for watching the video. My name is Mike Clark, and I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the local CBRE office in Buffalo, New York. We join you today from the beautiful Fashion Outlets here in Niagara Falls, New York. Why we're here, we're going to get to in a few minutes later on in the presentation. And what this presentation is going to entail is we're going to take a look at the Western New York retail real estate market. We'll take a look at a comparison of year-over-year numbers from a vacancy and an occupancy standpoint, as well as what some of the retailers and landlords experienced during the pandemic in the past year. And then lastly, we'll pull out our crystal ball and try to predict what you'll see in 2021 and beyond with the retail market. So, taking a look at vacancy numbers and occupancy numbers in the Western New York retail market in 2020, we saw a slight increase of only about 1.5 points in the overall rate, resulting in a 14.4% overall vacancy rate across the retail properties. Much of this vacancy can be attributed to large box and department store vacancies, which are in the enclosed mall sector of our retail market. The trade areas that house these particular properties have shown the highest vacancy rates, while conversely, smaller trade areas don't have quite as high a rate. On the low end of the scale, the Buffalo trade area, the city of Buffalo trade area, sits at only 8.8%. However, that is a small sample, so a large deal one way or another could adversely or positively affect that rate. On the other end of the scale, the McKinley trade area, which houses a large enclosed mall, which is considerably vacant, comes in at 19.8%. So you can see the variance between a market that has an enclosed mall versus a market that doesn't. So how has the pandemic affected retailers and landlords? Well, it's affected them greatly. Retailers with strong online omni-channel presence has done well or has fared better than the ones that don't. Landlords have been working with tenants not only from a rent standpoint, but from also driving foot traffic to the stores when they're allowed to do that by local municipalities. COVID inevitably has accelerated many of the concepts that were pre-pandemic. Buying online, picking up on store, acronyms like that, BOPS, become pretty commonplace among not just the retail professionals, but shoppers as well. And shoppers really have become buyers. They're doing their homework online, and when they show up at the store, they're not loitering, they're not shopping, they're coming to buy. See that trend to continue as we look to the future. So now we look into our crystal ball and try to predict what's going to happen with the retail real estate market here in 2021. From a tenant's perspective, it's going to be ever so important to stay in tune with that consumer. They need to know that consumer's needs, wants, and demands, not only from a purchase standpoint, but from a return standpoint and an experience standpoint for when they do come visit the stores. From the landlord's perspective, and hence why we're at this property today, the landlords need to inspect their properties, need to stay in tune with their tenants' needs and wants, as well as the consumers and the type of tenant that they're trying to attract to their property. This property here is in the process of converting some of their former retail space to medical. Landlords like that, savvy landlords that get ahead of trends versus behind trends, will prove to be successful in future years.
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing all of you as soon as we're able.